Hello guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Miracle, Population Me. If you're returning, you will notice something a little different about me. This is a fully animated as in quotations, video because it is sweltering today. If you don't know, it's in the 80s, so I don't want to come on and not look like a sweaty bum today. So I'm just trying my best with a different style, but still putting out videos because I know it's what you guys are looking for career chats. So we're gonna get straight into it. But this week's episode is the $20 billion Boeing mistake that cost over 400 people's lives. As we all know, Boeing is one of the most popular planes out there, starting from the early 90s, where they actually made engines not just for commercial use, but also government and defense planes as well. But by the early 2000s, their main popular plane, the 737 planes, were the best-selling commercial aircraft in history, being relied on for their performance in the short and medium haul flights. Meaning that if you were flying in the early 2000s, if you were alive, you basically flew on these planes because they were known everywhere. Whether you're on Delta or United or even American Airlines, they definitely had a 737 flight because they were faster than the leading flight at the time. But by the early 2010s, they had competition with a new aircraft called Airbus, which is popular right now, because they were better for their fuel efficiency and had lower operation costs, which allowed them to carry more people at more time and have more planes in the sky at any location, beating out Boeing at their own game. So during the time, Boeing came out with their 737 MAX, which was meant to compete with Airbus for their efficiency and low-cost maintenance, which was allowing them to not only keep what they had for the original 737, but also implement new changes to their planes without the retraining of their pilots and operational costs that will go back to the clients, basically. The development that went into this was meant to lower the costs that were already being included by the operational technology included, which was allowing them to put more customers on their planes without raising costs for the price that they were putting it on, unlike Airbus, which already had a cheaper price, but it allowed Boeing, which was the number one plane out there anyway, to keep their prices low while bringing out updated and upgraded software into their system of their new planes without actually retraining their pilots. So by 2016, 737 MAX was officially launched for commercial services, where it was being well received worldwide and being now Airbus, still at the number one spot in all the world. So not just America, but everywhere. Every country you knew was still using these planes, and now use a new one that literally came out 6 years later. But in 2018, a 737 MAX traveling Indonesia crashed, killing all 189 passengers and crew on board, leading to the crack in 737's perfect image and their world-renowned standing in American Airlines. In 2019, another 737 MAX plane in Ethiopia this time crashed, killing another 157 people on board, becoming the final straw for regulators around the world and also people who allowed them to continue in planes and pushing out more products for more mass production in different countries. So by 2020, when COVID was rising, Boeing and the regulators were blamed for the crash, citing failures in the design, the certifications, and the regulatory oversight processes as the main reasons why these planes were allowed to go up in the air while still crashing and killing all these people, which called for all 737 MAX fleet ships to be grounded, while they called for regulators and auditors to be checked out to figure out the main cause of what these crashes were doing. They had a financial strain like many other companies did, and if you were around, they also borrowed a total of $40 billion in debt back to the United States in order to purchase more of these ships that they can fix up and push back out to show regulators and auditors that their ship that they crashed was just a one-time mistake and they can come back and make more. But in 2021, Boeing had to pay $2.5 billion settlement to resolve a criminal charge of misleading federal aviation regulators over the plane crash that happened with the first one in Indonesia. So you're probably wondering at this point in time, how is Deloitte fitting into this main story? Deloitte was the original auditor when it came to Boeing. They actually allowed the planes to go up in the air after allowing the safety protocols to have an approval stamp rating and saying that they were actually good to go up and stay up for years to come, right up to the first crash in Indonesia. And the disaster that played out never included Deloitte, because at the time when they were looking into auditors and they're looking into regulators for who's to blame, there was many people. It was Deloitte at the time. It was their own initial internal Boeing FAA. It was also the government FAA. They all worked together and basically said this plane was good to go. So if you are hearing about Boeing planes crashing, or you're hearing about planes period in the air just going down, they're not the 737 MAX anymore. They have been discontinued since the early 2020s, but they are still Boeing. And there's a lot of saying right now that those planes are also going to do the same issues, that don't have the right regulations, the right certifications, the right design, or even the planes that are more expensive than they were literally 5 years ago. But now you know a whole nother story of how Deloitte basically helped out with letting these planes, letting the company get away with it at the time with crashes that killed almost 400 people and wounded a lot more people, which were the families, anyone who was willing to take these planes or knew the people who were on the crash. So that is the entire story of how 737 MAX cost $20 billion, because the amount of debt that was paid out to Boeing during COVID is still being used to this day, and Boeing is still paying it off because it was meant for that ship, like, period. That is all I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you guys later this week. This is also going to be a book club video coming out this week, so please watch out for that. Put on your notifications. Remember to like, share, subscribe so you don't miss an upload from me, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love. Bye bye.